Well, thank you for tuning in. You're watching The Property Guide on ET Now, your weekly guide to buying property in India. Thank you for your response to last week's episode. And if you have any questions about buying property, getting a home loan, or even the legal problems that you have, write to us. Our email ID is at the bottom of your screen. It'll be our pleasure to hear from you. If you have feedback about the show, it's our pleasure to read your feedback as well. In the studio today, Om Ahuja, CEO of Residential Services at JLL, and Jayashree Kurup, Head of Content and Research at magicbricks.com. Well, on this show, we've talked about cities and we've talked about markets. But the truth is that every city can be sliced up into micro markets or locations, each of them drastically different from each other based on economics, infrastructure, connectivity, and of course the social construct. Our experts today have chosen locations across metros which, according to them, hold the most promise in terms of growth and return on investment. Of course, against each of these locations, our experts will not only tell us why they've picked those locations, we'll also give you a list of projects in each location that's been recommended. I want to first start by asking you, Om, what is your criteria for judgment when you picked out these locations?
Three things. What we're looking at is one, it's currently a value proposition. The most important part is until there is a value in terms of pricing, then there is not really a room for making that extra money as an investment or as a house where you want to live. Second part is where there is a life around it. It's not that we're recommending a location which is 30 kilometers, 50 kilometers away from the city. In the name of being an affordable, it shouldn't become a negative investment in the start. The third part to this is basically looking at the area where there is enough supply. It shouldn't happen that we give you a location where there is no supply or there is too much of supply. Too much of supply has been avoided and good supply has been taken into consideration.
All right, so three criteria. I want to bring in Jayashree as well. Jayashree, tell us how you've picked the location right now that you're going to give us on the show.
See, we've gone more by statistics and then applied some logic. One, we've said, let's check out which are the locations which have maximum demand at this point of time. But we haven't chosen those locations where it was only one segment of demand. We felt that these are locations where consumer demand is robust and it can continue into the future. Like Om says, there has to be supply, and these are areas where there is regular supply coming into the market, and we feel that it has long-term potential. The third is that it has significant growth drivers. It could be infrastructure, it could be fresh stock coming in, and therefore we feel that long-term this has prospects.
All right, so let's begin with Mumbai, the maximum city. Prices of property among the highest across the country, homes among the smallest. Om, tell us, within Mumbai, where do you see the most growth?
If I would break this MMR region, Mumbai metropolitan region, I would say that the best location at this point of time, of course, is Chembur. The second location which one should consider, which is also an emerging location, is Goregaon East. Okay. Considering the connectivity, considering the eventual connectivity towards Eastern Expressway, the other aspects to Goregaon, where there is a lot of activity with regard to commercial offices which can't afford BKC, which can't afford the Andheri sub-road, are moving to Goregaon's force.
Okay, so when we talk about Chembur, there's Chembur West, which is the Tilak Nagar area, and there's Chembur East. And you did say affordability when you started off, because there has to be headroom for it to rise. Chembur East is currently pricing between 1.8 upwards to 2.5 crore rupees for a two-bedroom. How much room is there for Chembur to grow more than that?
Well, I would say Chembur East, as you rightly said, it's basically an area where we believe the prices from here next 5 years can double. It is Chembur Santa Cruz Link Road goes live. There's little more relief which comes in place. So Chembur becomes a destination.
How far away are we from seeing this link road come alive?
The newspaper report says April 1st. So hopefully, irrespective of whether this election code of conduct doesn't remains, but I guess people will benefit from April onwards. So that will actually ease up. A lot of people will look at Chembur in a different perspective.
And of course, Chembur already has all of the social infrastructure that you were talking about earlier. That's also important for these localities. Jayashree, Om has given us Chembur East and Goregaon East. What about you? When you think of Mumbai, what's the best bet over the next 5 years?
We're looking at what is maximum demand for, and surprisingly, Bombay has been a slower market. Bombay and NCR have been slower according to the Prop Index and our Housing Sentiment Index. Andheri West topped our list of in-demand properties. Here we see that there are 2-3 things that you should be considering right now. Now, even though the metro has not taken off yet and it is in the trial runs, I think one of the reasons why we've seen a lot of activity, the consumer demand around the Andheri region, is because of the forthcoming metro, and that has driven demand. Therefore, we feel that this is area to watch, and this could be giving you good returns in the future.
All right, so 3 recommendations there. We talked about Andheri, Chembur and Goregaon. Here's a list, in fact, of projects in those locations that we just discussed. Take a look. If you're looking for interesting options in Mumbai, there's the Anantha by the Vadva Group in Chembur, Kalpatru Avana in Parel, Vasant Oasis by Seth Developers in Andheri, Runwal Elegante also in Andheri, Omkar Altamount in Malad and Tropical Lagoon in Thane. All right, moving on, more locations right now. Let's talk about the NCR. NCR, again, massive, geographically massive market. So give me 2 locations within the NCR that you think are the best bets really for the next 5 years.
If you're looking at a 5 to 10 years view, Dwarka Expressway can be a dark horse one can look at.
Isn't it priced out already though?
But there are a lot of projects in Dwarka Expressway which are still available, giving that value deals there. There is a potential in those projects too. I guess, yes, the price, what we've seen in last 3 years, the price of Dwarka Expressway has shot up. But look at projects which are still offering that value. The second area in NCR that gives us a lot of potential in terms of upside is Hoskas Enclave. That's basically the South Delhi flavor, and it gives you that kind of pricing advantage at this point of time. But yeah, ticket sizes are quite large there. All
right, Jayashree, do you agree, Dwarka Expressway, and can you give us your 2 picks there from the NCR market?
The 2 areas that we have picked up is, one is Sector 82, Noida. Very interesting market, and I'll tell you a little more about it. And the other one we picked up is Hoskas. These are the areas where demand has peaked, and both these areas seem to have future potential as well. Let me start with Hoskas. Hoskas is bang on the metro, and there is a lot of metro work happening in the Delhi NCR. The metro connectivity is improving, and Hoskas will benefit from both the main metro links along the ring road and along the outer ring road. Therefore, it has huge potential, and the consumers are giving it a thumbs up. Sector 82 Noida is a different ballgame altogether. It is very close to the developer-led sectors, which is Omax, Eldeco, good established players and good established projects like Utopia and so on. However, these are all cooperative group housing societies in Sector 82. The consumer is willing to scale down a little bit in terms of infrastructure, social infrastructure such as clubs and backup power and things like that. They're going for the basics, but they're saying that we would like to be near a locality that is well connected. It is connected both to the Yamuna Expressway as well as the Noida Expressway, and therefore the consumer has given it a thumbs up, and a lot of demand around that area.
So that's our list there for the NCR. Of course, I know some people who frown at the idea of giving up on backup power in Noida, but the list is on your screen. We do have a consensus on Hoskas there. What I'm going to give you is also a recommended list of projects within the locations that we just discussed. Take a look. Well, here are some investment options in the NCR. Triumph by the ATS Group, Green's Tiara Tower by the JP Group, Romano by Supertech. Our experts also tell us that Hoskas in New Delhi and Sector 82 in Noida are good investment bets with limited new supply. There are several options available for those looking to buy second sale homes. Welcome back. You're watching the Property Guide in ET now. Our guests are still with us, helping us make smart decisions. Now, what we're doing on this episode is taking a look at top localities that you should be betting on, specifically in response to the emails that you've sent us, where you tend to ask not about cities, but about specific locations. What we're trying to do is filter through all of our large markets in urban India and find the markets or the micro markets that will give you the sharpest returns over the next 5 years. Let's talk about Bangalore, the country's IT capital. I'm going to bring in Jayashree here. Jayashree, what's your pick in Bangalore as a location that will give us the sharpest returns over the next 5 years?
This time we're picking up Varthur, which is a suburb of Whitefield, so to speak. It is in the Whitefield cluster, but it is a little off the main Whitefield. Here the properties are a little less priced than, and it is apartments largely. And its connectivity to the Bangalore airport through the NH 207 seems to be working in its favor, as also the Sarjapur Road. We find there has been a 22% increase in prices between 2011 and 2013 in this area, and about a 3% increase even in a steady market of 2013. There has been a 3% rise in values in Varthur.
Well, Jayashree, over the next 5 years, what sort of return would you expect from a place like Varthur? And do you think that it will be able to sustain this kind of demand in comparison to places like Whitefield, Electronic City, Marthahalli?
You know, you've seen a lot of consumers holding back, all kinds of consumers. And while expensive locations such as Whitefield have been in demand and people are looking at those areas, we see a lot of action happening in the suburbs of in-demand localities. And this is happening across the country, and we feel that anything that is aspirational, people want to stay near it, and there are good developers coming up there. There is a rental return, there are good developers coming up, and I don't see any reason why Varthur should not post a good, healthy 10% annual returns.
10% annual returns. When we called you and asked you to give us 5 locations in South India that you think are promising, you picked all 5 out of Hyderabad, and you didn't pick it from any of the other cities. So tell us then, why Hyderabad, and of those 5, which do you think are the most promising?
But I would say 2 areas in Hyderabad still look at the prices what they are. I think Hyderabad is currently available at the steel in terms of everything there looks to be so cheap, so good. Now with this Telangana issue getting resolved, if anybody looks at doubling the money, can be before 5 years, I think Hyderabad has a potential. What we really need to see is a stable government in both the states now, and I think that's immaterial now. Hyderabad as a city will actually see upside, and the prices what you have currently available at a very little margin what a developer can make from those projects. Look at Gachibowli, Madhapur, which is a favorite area in Hyderabad, but the dark horse there is Miapur area. Both these locations in Hyderabad are currently available, Miapur anywhere between 3 to 3,500 rupees. And when you look at Gachibowli, it's still at a very good prices between anywhere between 4 to 4,500 rupees. At kind of construction, quality, developers offering this, I don't think you'll go wrong. In terms of taking a 5-year view, you may double your money before 5 years.
I also want to very quickly ask you about Banjara Hills. Now, of all of the cities in the country right now, in order, your ticket size in which I can buy premium property, good construction, great location, great social infrastructure, that would be Banjara Hills. For anybody buying there right now, what sort of returns can they expect over the next 5 years?
Well, I think Banjara is something which is a ticket size. If somebody has a decent ticket size to invest, yes. In today, as we speak, if you look at any other city, let's say if you look at Kolkata, which is basically one of the west cities in the east, you have the prime areas in Kolkata going anywhere between 15 to 25,000 rupees per square feet. Whereas in Hyderabad, the prime location like Banjara Hills or Jubilee Hills, which is available anywhere between 9,000 rupees to 15,000 rupees per square feet. You can't go wrong when you are investing in a prime location of the city anywhere between 9 to 15,000 rupees. The developers there like Jayberry, very good quality product, fantastic delivery, no past track record of any negative thing. You have Aparna there. So a lot of reputed developers are offering you at this kind of prices. So you can't go wrong. Banjara, Jubilee, it's a ticket size what really matters. But yes, if somebody is looking at momentum, somebody is looking at doubling the money, exiting the property, then you can't go wrong with Jubilee, specifically Jubilee and Banjara Hills with a larger ticket size. And if you're looking at a smaller ticket size, then you have basically Gachibowli and Madhapur.
All right, on your screen right now, locations in Hyderabad that Om is willing to bet on. Now remember, no discussion about South India is complete without talking about Chennai. Jayashree, give us your picks in Chennai.
Say OMR still is holding a lot of promise, and consumers are giving it a thumbs up. But the biggest thumbs up is to Thiruvanmayur. Thiruvanmayur is close enough to the OMR and the city centre, and consumers have a lot of options here. It's coarse on social infrastructure. It's got its recreational, entertainment and leisure activities. It's got schools, colleges. It's got good connectivity, and the consumer seems to be very active in Thiruvanmayur area.
All right, 2 picks there from Chennai as well. Now, before I close this discussion, let's also talk about Pune. Pune, I mean, we shouldn't be leaving it out if we're talking about all of these cities. Do you believe that in terms of a location market, competing with cities like Bombay, with cities like Hyderabad, Pune is able to stand along those? Will it also give those kind of returns over the next 5 years?
Certainly, I guess what is happening is Pune, we've suddenly seen in last 4 quarters, specifically last 3 quarters, we've seen sudden pickup in the commercial activity there. We've suddenly seen many larger corporates, IT corporates coming to Pune, specifically when looking at Hinjewadi or Magapata, they're actually expanding. As we see with the final number crunching, what we were thinking of, we should be looking at anywhere between 7 to 12,000 jobs being created in next 14 months, 12 to 14 months, 18 months maximum. So we see Baner is an area which is very close to Hinjewadi. Baner, there are again, if you go deeper inside Baner, not on the prime highway when you connect to Pune, but deeper inside Baner, there are a lot of value propositions there. Baner may look to be fully priced for a person who has seen Baner at half the price from here. But yes, once you go inside, reputed developers, little insight from the main road, livable, value deal, and everything to do with social infrastructure is there. And that's somewhere we believe in next 3 to 4 years time, you may see, again, looking at, like Jayashree said, 10% annualized return or maybe more. The other area which we feel is a dark horse in Pune is a Nagar Road, which is actually going to see the spillover demand being closest to that part of the town, where you have a lot more other IT companies which are not happy with Hinjewadi, they're considering that part of the town. So these are the two locations in our view one should not ignore.
Quick clarification, for those of us who are looking to make an investment in Pune, should we keep the ticket size low so that we're able to find buyers?
Yes, I think ticket size should be less than 1.5 crores. It should not be beyond 1.5 crores because the local Puneite can't afford beyond 1.5 crores. I'm not referring to a general classification, but yes, it is important that the ticket size should be lower in Pune. Otherwise, your exit will become a difficulty.
It'll be difficult to find buyers. All right, so we talked about Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad and Pune. Here are some recommendations across all of these markets in the locations that were recommended by our guests. Take a look. Here are some investment options and locations that were recommended. Let's begin with Chennai. Cool Waters by CICC Builders. SGR Apartment by CSV Homes. Vista Heights by Sri Raja Rajeshwari Developers. In Bangalore, Maple by Mahavir Group, Golden Nest by Panacea Builders, Lakeside Habitat by the Prestige Group. In Hyderabad, Euphoria by Mantri Group, Brigade No. 7 by Brigade Group, Golf View by Theme Ambience, Selina by Kumar Properties, Glitterati 2 by Kolte Patil Developers, and finally Park Express Phase 2 by the Pride Group. Welcome back. You're watching the Property Guide in ET Now. Time to take a few legal questions, and to help me answer them, we have Hemang Jariwala, who's an advocate who specializes in property problems, who joins us on the show. Hemang, thank you for joining us. Our first question comes in from Chandru. Now, Chandru has signed an agreement with a developer in Kharghar in Navi Mumbai. We took a look at the agreement. It says that the developer may send him a demand letter if the material costs of construction cross 10%. However, verbally, when he asked the developer said, don't worry, we're not going to charge you anything extra. He's now worried that he might see that demand letter in the mail any one of these days. Hemang, what can he do as a customer? Does he have to pay that money in case the demand letter does come up?
Since this property is situated in New Mumbai, in Maharashtra, the Maharashtra Ownership of Flats Act 1963 comes into play, and the Form 5, which has a prototype of an agreement which is mandatory and statutory to be followed by all the developers builders whenever they enter into an agreement with the flat purchaser. No agreement under the Maharashtra Ownership of Flats Act does have any such clauses which gives any such leverage for any increase at a subsequent time or date. Hence, the flat purchaser should categorically talk to the builder, ask him whether the agreement he is going to execute is under Maharashtra Ownership of Flats Act, and if so, then there is no such provision or there is no such clause under the agreement, model agreement under Form 5, which gives such a leverage or increase in a rate which is once fixed between the builder and the developer. Indian Contract Act does not come into play because it is a general act, but Maharashtra Ownership of Flats Act 1963 comes into play because it is a specific act and binding on all the developers and builders.
Couple has also written in. Now, he lives on the second floor of a DDA flat. Now, he tells us the top floor owner has illegally constructed an extra room and a toilet in the open balcony, which is causing seepage in his kitchen downstairs. He tells us the owner has also constructed illegal rooms on the building roof where water tanks are located and no longer allows the other residents access to those water tanks. He wants to know what he can do right now legally as a homeowner in those flats.
In this case, the people on the lower floor should first of all make an application under Right to Information Act with the concerned municipal authority of that area and try to take the approved and sanctioned plan of the building as well as of the floor where such illegal construction has been conducted. Once they have the approved and sanctioned plan in their possession, which clearly shows the dry area and the wet area, a legal notice should be sent from the flat owners who are staying below to the person who has conducted or carried out such illegal activity to rectify the same. Simultaneously make a complaint with the municipal authority that the approved and sanctioned plans are so and so, and this gentleman has travelled beyond and made illegal construction, thereby they are suffering. Now if the municipal authorities, because of XYZ reason, do not take any action which they are supposed to take under the said law, then the flat purchasers should not become disheartened. They can file a writ of mandamus, which is a right given under the Constitution of India, before the Honorable High Court, make the municipal authority a party and seek a relief and a prayer that the High Court should direct the municipal authorities to take action against this flat owner who has indulged in such illegal and wrongful activities, unauthorized activities by converting wet and dry areas. So this is what should be done by those people who are suffering from such illegal constructions and facing such leakage and seepages.
Alright, so if you have any questions for Hemang about a legal aspect of buying a home, write to us. Our email ID is at the bottom of your screen. Hemang, thank you so much for answering our questions this week. Remember, you can reach me on Twitter. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch with us. Thanks for watching.